score against the Brits. I don't know why I'm paying my armies here. It seems like a waste of my money. Oh man, Traffic Cone, you're the one that asked for the stream and you went away to take a nap. I admire your gall. Right, I need to turn the month for that piracy to become effective, and then away we go. Take it all, man, just take it all. We don't make nearly as much money privateering these guys, but raiding is pretty much always worth my time. I mean, what I would say is, why would I not? Alright, great job, but Constantinople is where the big burn is. Let's make it happen. Get you guys back here. And I feel pretty safe in my sailor situation, and the money situation isn't bad either. Nice. Not that taunting the English from Ulster isn't entertaining, but when are you going to make sure they speak the one true language, Greek? Not going to happen. We are slightly more tolerant as pirates here. After all, they all end up in chains one way or another. I'm really wondering how to make some serious headway in Britain, though. They still have this... They're still far stronger than me. I might be able to laugh them away at sea, but that only allows me to, you know, take little piecemeals away from them. And I actually want to keep Desmond around. It's a nice fort for war score that I can take away from the British. So, yeah, I'm a bit torn on that front. Until I can start really landing troops on shores, these guys are enough to thwomp me. Again, we've taken no military ideas, not for our land military at least. Naxian ideas are not really about fighting hard. At best, we have Legacy of Crusader. But the way we do play helps us with acquiring the islands, and that is a big part of what we do around here. Still more war score to get from the Danes before I go all in on this. Right, how about then we focus a bit more on blockading these buggers. I have plenty of galleys, but lights are cheaper to do with sailors in mind. Where are all my lights? Didn't I have a whole bunch of lights around here? Or did I imagine that? Yeah, they got chased away, right? Your lights. There we go. You'll get it eventually. You guys exist purely to block the crossing here. You folks exist to put our friends, the British, under blockade. All the more reason that I really wish I had blockade efficiency and privateer efficiency. Maybe I could actually drop naval engagement, because we're already winning on the battles, and we're not winning on the finances. Tell you what, we'll switch them out and see how it goes for us. That should mean that I make a good bit more money off of this. Although it might have already taken effect there. 14. Yeah, I think it already took effect. I wish I'd looked at it beforehand. Hopefully this doesn't, again, bite me in the bottom. Because 20% engagement width is huge. And who doesn't like huge? So yeah, the British not particularly happy with this arrangement, but length of war and relative strength of alliances really giving me the gut punch. Land on all 3 islands at the same time. Sounds cool and all, but unless I can defeat a reasonable sum of these British, it's not going to come together. Then again, the switcheroo is not impossible. If I were able to attract a bunch of these guys over to Ulster. How many did I... Right. We're not trying this seriously enough. It's not like we don't have force limit. It's just that our army is complete tat. We can access this pretty good tech, making our cannons fire that bit better. Might as well do it next year so we don't way overspend on it. But what I could well do, what do I have here? 8 and 2. Let's have an actual army for a change. It takes us a bit over the hedge. Let's at least stick to force limit here and see what we can make happen with that. Because look at all these British fools that we might be able to convince to go to Ulster for a holiday. If we did this switcheroo, we would be able to do so much to the British. The downside is they would get the ticking war score for taking back their core in Leinster. Maybe. Right, this guy's greedy, which isn't good, but he's also really young, which is amazing. So we're going to keep this guy and just hope that he ends up learning some better traits along the way. Jake, will we ever take an army-relevant idea group? I'm thinking that's the best thing we could possibly do in our next idea group, so I'd like to. Trust me on that. And there go the Russians around there. Oh, right, we annihilated the British heavies. Right, we don't have anything to really worry about on that front. Always a plus. What's also always a plus is when you have your army, have them in a strategically significant location. Also, spy on your enemies. Jake, how are the policies? Well, I dropped the naval engagement width and I'm praying that I don't regret that option. Let's also pay for our units, right? If they just get stack wiped, it's all for Connaught. Good job on the exploration. What have you found? This looks like a waste of everybody's time. Tell me about the East Chinese Sea. This charge infantry is taking forever. Curse the Pale. Alright, so with you guys away, what do our... Oh man, I lose my vision over West March. Here's the problem, right? What if they only send half of their army to Ulster and they keep the entire rest of them here? I couldn't take out either of those half armies. Because that appears to be what they're doing, right? They send over 37 odd, they keep 30 something odd back here. That gives me tricky times. Jake, it's tech time. Yeah, it is that next year that I said I'd get that tech. Clunk. Wouldn't mind this one either, right? That trade efficiency, corruption, it all adds up, so I will take it. Also, new better cannons, chambered demi-cannon. It's pretty good. Now what if I could just convince them to all come across at the same time? That would be the ultimate bonus. But I currently have none of it. Just these guys, and those guys aren't enough for me to plan around. Colonize Taiwan, raid China, make profit. That's a big part of the reason why we're trying to get our way over here. I don't know how my range is going to look on this. Probably not amazing, but I would like to get the Asian raiding going at some point. Trouble is, these Europeans like to keep picking fights with me. How dare they? Also, when can we start raiding these guys? 98, so not that long away. Good to know. Right, I need some kind of super plan that really crushes the British here. I have a lot of troops that are not currently involved in this though. What if I brought these 11,000 over? It might bolster my self-esteem about the whole situation. And I'm all for self-esteem grinding strats. But I need a good majority of these guys over here, not a piecemeal like that. Then again, piecemeal like that, right? I could stack wipe that leaderless 15k that's coming over here. So I like to think, but that's not going to make or break this war. It's going to hurt me more than it hurts them. because they're very hard mode and they have a lot more resources to fight this than I do. If we look at armies here, and instead of Britain, let's just pay attention to war enemies. The Great British manpower is 66,000 compared to my 27. Yikes. Yikes is what I'm saying. Then again, if I engage them in a fight here, I might be able to draw out considerably more of them. Wouldn't that be something? Bait one stack at a time, stack wipe by blockading the strait. Another pretty good idea, if I dare say so myself. But it's also worth noting that I just sent away all my transports, so let's not suicide those. Well, it's been a long and fun war, Russia. How about we just, you know, give it all up? No? Okay. Ditmar Shan I'd probably be able to get out a lot easier because I could just blockade them, but even then wouldn't be enough, I dare say. They'd probably rebuild 15k faster than you destroy them. Also true, but... At least I get to raid the British shortly. Oh, shoot. Who's about to wish he wasn't in all these wars right now? I think it's me. Ah, yeah, I forgot about my good friends, the Otto friends. Remember how they somewhat dismantled my entire navy? I think I want these 41 galleys back home. To defend Venezia, of course. Don't forget, they have war exhaustion. They can't really train fast. They have a passive minus 0.05 war exhaustion for playing on very hard mode, if my memory serves well. So, place your bets on when that Ottoman declaration of war is incoming, because it's probably quite soon. That said, we got a decent war score on the British, it's just not enough to force anything in because the war hasn't been going on that long in their eyes. 41 galleys back home leaves you vulnerable to Russian or Danish naval offences. No, my heavies can destroy them. As long as the naval offences aren't out here. Even if they're in there, I'm confident my heavies could crush their galleys. And what a crush it would be. Ugh, all of my enemies gain army tradition. No, let's just get rid of any traitors that we have in Draken. Okay, how are we going to play this one then? 28k is a dangerous amount for them to be sending over. I don't like that. I'd rather they sent over not 28k. I wonder if this even benefits me though. Don't really want to stack wipe them because then they're just going to rebuild them in Britain proper, and I don't gain a whole lot out of that. Yeah, I'm struggling immensely to see how this can work for me. You can get up to 40 war score from battles, right? That's a good point. I can make good on battles here. What if I baited them out with a reasonably strong stack here? Then they'd want to bring a lot more to the fight. Fight. Then I say, come and have a go. MTSC2 is eager to please. What if I just come over here? I mean, that's not going to happen, but what if... How about you, Ottomans? Are you on my border yet? Huh. Must be pretty ballsy if he's not doing that. Okay, this looks like a much more serious attempt to make their way over. There's a worry on my part if I just let them in here. Jake, could you show the great power list? Yeah, here we go. Ottomans, Spain, Russia, Ming, Mamluks, France, Jampur, and Denmark. Naxos, nowhere near them. Yeah, why is nobody intervening on my side in this war against two great powers? Both Russia and Denmark. Oh, because I'm not a great power, obviously. Nothing to intervene there. Is this even a good idea? Well, this way at least. There's some stack wiping that could be done on the cheap. As long as I'm out here on the 5th, and I don't let the... oh no, I'd rather be out here on the 4th. Let's actually try fighting the British so I get an idea of how well they do fight. Oh, right, I blocked them there. That was faster than I thought. Maybe my tag order is before them. I think Naxos has been in since the game came out. Lazy ships, Jake. I mean, I have a lot of lazy ships. We might need to expand on that one. These guys are around and they're doing God's work. These guys are going to die when the Ottomans declare war. I just wish they would, you know, go away. Why do they need to keep fighting me? Especially when I'm in war with all these other great powers. Yeah, with them having offensive and British ideas, I really don't think my paper mache troops are gonna do too well against them. But time is not on my side in a war like this. It's not an easy one to figure out. Jake, you're caught. Yeah, I'm well aware the coffers aren't looking good. Very well aware. I'm also well aware that my papal influence is a bit naff these days. I think we should enjoy some extra stability out of them while we can, and maybe consider being better friends with the Pope. It's not like I have much else going on. Violated the Treaty of Tortelloni. Yeah, go figure. Still a ways from getting that peace with the Danes, but I think something could come of that. Yeah, I'm finding it pretty difficult to make a lot of headway on these guys. I'm gonna have to find a way, so I will. Not too long till I can do the good old coastal raid along here as well. I should. Oh man, I forgot about this island. It's perfectly situated for doing horrible things to the Spanish here. But then so too is the action of declaring war on them. That would be nice. Sure, the Ottomans would like to intervene, just not on your side, or they'd get on my side alright. I am so surprised that they haven't declared war yet, but perhaps they're just gearing up for it. Heavens knows they want my land. Alright, 15k is kind of nice. 15k that's leaderless is especially nice. So they're going to come over on the 23rd. I'll keep them in here. I'll say welcome to my home. Let's fight and see how well you do. Poor HRE Palatinate, brown bread. Okay, he really wants to join in. He's actually force marching his way in there. So let's get an idea of how well these guys fight, right? Actually, I have better morale for unknown reasons. My prestige is through the roof. That's what's helping for them. They have nothing helping them out there. They have 10% extra discipline though, and that's giving them extra tactics too. So I do need to bring a fair advantage to the fight against these guys. But when I do, it looks like I kind of comfortably kick the British right in the backside. And they try to run away. I didn't get a ton of war score out of that, did I? Yeah, 1.6 isn't terrible, but another 1.6 doesn't go amiss. And what we lost, like 5k? Acceptable losses, son. I like that. It's a shame it's not a show superiority war, because if it was, that would be the ultimate way to drive this up. And then again, away he goes with another stack. Another stack that I'm not too keen on fighting. They're a bit chunky. And they're also, they're actually lead this time. But again, they're pretty small. I should be able to take on those buggers. You know what? If I could get there and move my troops over to Ulster quick enough. No, that wouldn't work. I would block his movement. Ah, it was worth thinking about though. So let's try our luck against these fellows. Oh, it'd be very funny if he beat me in this battle, especially now that he's actually led. Well, we have terrain on our side at the very least. Oh, nice. The Ottomans have decided that Mamluks are their target, so they'll be even bigger and stronger when they come for me. Silver lining and all that. First navigation was done by France, not by me, which is a disaster piece. So away they go, and yes, away they go. So it's actually looking pretty good for whittling down those British numbers. This might work out more to my advantage than I thought. Depends how quick they are to rebuild. But since I have good eyes... Oh, okay, yes, they are rebuilding and then some. That's rough stuff. Much like my coffers, this isn't terribly sustainable for me. And again, soon it'll be time to raid the ever-loving crap out of the British Isles, which is also a nice bonus. Alright, Britain, who will be the next to come into the meat grinder? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish war score. Doesn't go amiss, but it's still very hard to get a peace deal with these guys because they know how much I'm fighting against, especially when the Danes and the Russians are taken into account. Speaking of that war, I can get a peace deal. It's just not the peace deal that I want. I've gotten all my war score, so if I just let the war trickle on for a bit more, I should be able to... Oh, Dithmarshen's actually under siege. If I go and blockade them now, I'll probably be able to get a good peace deal out of them. As in, getting them out of the war, which is the main thing that I want here. So I'll try to pursue that just now. Oh, he wants to send over 5,000 troops now. That's pretty good. That is not pretty good. The British saw this opportunity to come and do nasty things to me. I, however, saw an opportunity to get a peace deal out of Dithmarshen. So it's probably worth losing a boat or two just to kick them out of the war. I don't think those lights are going to hold out, but I could try. 15th, huh? So if I get you here on the 16th, it's all good. That's 15, and that is 16. And then you're there on the 17th, and that's another bunch of dead friends there. You folks are on your last leg, so I don't get you out of there. To quote Slippy, you're monkey food if you don't leave. There we go, at least I managed to intercept their main fleet there. Or what's left of their main fleet. So whilst they may have scored a couple of light losses on me, I was able to score a whole lot more on them and grab a ship to get rid of. So I'll take it and run. And I have spare ships over here, so I will reinstate the blockade on Tiny. And the Brits really think they can take me on here, and they're probably not that wrong. The aggravating thing is that they keep rebuilding up their armies, so it's not like I can put the squeeze on them this way. But I do build up a bit of war score, so I can't complain about it too much. You just leave the fleet blockading when fighting, because of the fort, they get wiped anyway. You can leave the fleet. No, this way I get 2 fights out of them. And if they run away faster, then that's good. It's less fighting for me have to do against them. For me to have to do against them. I knew I'd get it. Amazingly, too short on diplomats to make the peace deal that I want right now. Yeah, I'm not keen on fighting that big of a stack with their decent general. But whittling away at the British, that is no bad thing. Downside, I suppose, is at this rate I won't be able to take anything on the main islands, whereas if I could actually do some big surgical incisions here, I could start chipping away at the British ability to wage war. Whereas right now it's just, oh boy, more of Ireland. If they even agree to the peace deal, because my god, look at that. They don't want to give me a thing. It's a problem with being so weak and just essentially pestering people. But just you wait, I'll have a whole lot more before too long. Well, a whole lot more Ottomans to worry about. Jake, do I hear a Scottish vassal? No, you do not hear a Scottish vassal. Those British numbers are really going down, though. I wonder, is it, am I applying any kind of fiscal difficulty on our friends there? No, the British have no loans whatsoever. That's a bummer. And their war exhaustion isn't that high either. Lots of bummers. But it is tempting to start landing on them and occupying their lands, but very risky, because they can just bring all of their armies together. What would that be? 20, 30, 40, 50,000. And kablooey, away I go. And I've lost my army to the British in this campaign muckle too many times. I still feel the burn of not having enough money in this campaign. 334 wanting to fight me in Ulster, huh? Why do I have 5 horses? That I don't get. Not liking it. It's not a strategically good battle for me to take. But yeah, their irritating desire to stay at war, mostly down to relative strength, is that is huge. I do have the option of turning my attention pretty much entirely on the Danes. The British fleet is almost nowhere to be seen. If I just bundled all of my transports together here, they certainly wouldn't come at me, and then I could focus on putting blockades down on the Danes. But what I truly want are the Russians out of this war, and they're not too far away from it. I don't think there's anything they're really keen on to get out of the war, though. And I don't really want to give them money either. So that is a thought. But with the Ottomans distracted, I can pull this one out a bit more. If I beat up the Danes and I'm able to take at least Bornholm out of everything, then we can make some advancements. Jake, are you intentionally not converting your provinces? It's only one province, and yes, I am intentionally not converting Venetia, because if I do that, I'm certain that the Centre of Reformation will hit it again. So I'm waiting until the Age of Reformations are over. Might be a bit of a wait, but I got time to burn on that one. What I don't have right now is money to burn, because we are burning dosh like nothing on earth over all this. State maintenance costs me so much. What even is Murak? Oh, right, yes. I've had that edict in for way too long. Naval construction. A large group of shipwrights have discovered a way to make a few ships quickly for no extra cost for Naxos. Over in Aspin we can have frigates or galleons. I'll take I'll take frigates, please. Don't mind if I do. Has Jake ever had Scotland as a vassal? I'm certain I have, I just can't think of any examples. So, amazingly, they'd agree to a white peace at 55% war score. But again, not really able to put the pressure on them. And their armies don't seem to want to hang on. 28,000. If I brought